Okay, so what if I told you that you could find an extra $10,000 in your budget this year? And I mean, without getting a raise, without starting some crazy side hustle. Today, we're going to break down an economic analysis that gives us a super simple, actionable blueprint to do just that. We're going to plug the 5 biggest leaks in the average person's finances. All right, let's get into it.
$10,000. According to the analysis we're looking at, that's how much is invisibly leaking from the average household budget every single year. It's just a staggering amount of money that, kind of vanishes into thin air.
So where does it all go? Well, the analysis points to this really interesting concept from behavioral economics called the habitual consumption gap. It's a fancy way of saying we keep spending money out of habit, kind of on autopilot, long after that spending stops bringing us any real value or happiness. And that's the gap we're going to close today.
So how do we find all that missing money? We're going to follow a 5-part blueprint. We're going to tackle the biggest financial traps one by one. First, the new car trap. Then, digital subscription creep, the convenience food premium, fast fashion's hidden cost, and finally, the marketed wellness myth. All right, let's kick things off with the single biggest financial drain for most people, new cars. And look, the core issue here isn't about driving. It's about the rapid and, frankly, brutal depreciation of the asset itself.
The strategic shift here is actually really simple. Stop buying new cars. A brand new vehicle can lose up to 60% of its value in just 5 years. It's crazy. Instead, the analysis recommends shifting to reliable used cars or, for even bigger savings, a multi-modal transit strategy. That just means combining things like public transport, cycling, and maybe some occasional rideshare.
And this right here is where the numbers get really eye-opening. The annual cost of a new sedan is over $11,000. A huge piece of that, $4,500, is just depreciation. Poof, gone. Now compare that to the multi-modal strategy, which costs less than $2,000 a year. The difference in financing and insurance alone is just massive. And here it is. This is the punchline. By just ditching the new car for a transit-focused strategy, the potential annual savings is $9,450. That's almost our entire $10,000 goal in one single move. Wild. So that one move almost gets us there. But you know what? There's more. Our next target drains our finances with like 1,000 tiny cuts. We're talking about digital subscription creep. You know them, those small, reoccurring monthly payments that are so easy to set and forget.
So the idea here is to stop paying for multiple, unused, or just redundant subscriptions. The alternative, it's genius in its simplicity. A library card, which now gives you access to ebooks, audiobooks, even movies, and what the analysis calls a rotational subscription model. That just means you subscribe to one streaming service, binge what you want to watch, cancel it, and then move on to the next.
This slide shows you the power of just a quick audit. The average person might be spending $160 a month across multiple streaming, news, and fitness apps. But by rotating just one service and using your free library access, that spend drops to just $20 a month. Over a year, that really simple optimization of your digital life adds up to $1,680 in savings. It's all about shifting from paying for this passive access to intentional consumption.
All right, next up is another huge money drain, the massive premium we pay for convenience food. The best way to think about this is like a hidden convenience tax that you pay every single time you open a food delivery app.
So the strategy is to stop the frequent food delivery and casual dining and instead invest your time and money in wholesale ingredients and modular meal prep. You're basically shifting from thinking of food as a service to food as a commodity. You're capturing the labor value for yourself by cooking at home.
And the margins on this are just incredible. The average cost per meal from a premium delivery service is $38. The exact same meal prepared at home with ingredients from a wholesale club costs just $4.50. That is a nearly 9-fold difference. It's just staggering.
So what does that mean in real-world savings? By replacing just 5 delivered meals a week with home-prepared ones, you can save over $8,000 a year. I mean, again, this single change can almost get you to that entire $10,000 goal.
Okay, moving on to our closets. The fourth area we're going to tackle is the hidden recurring expense of fast fashion. It's this financial treadmill where we're constantly buying low-quality, trendy clothes that we know are just going to need to be replaced.
The solution is to stop buying disposable, trendy items and instead focus on buy-it-for-life quality pieces and high-quality secondhand clothing. Now, this does require a little bit of a mental shift, from focusing on that initial price tag to really thinking about the long-term value.
And the key metric to understand here is something called cost per wear, or CPW. It's pretty simple. It's the total cost of an item divided by the number of times you actually wear it. A lower CPW means you're getting much better value, even if that initial price was a little bit higher.
This chart makes the whole concept really tangible. So over 5 years, buying 5 pairs of $100 fast fashion boots costs you $500, but investing in one high-quality, repairable pair for $280 saves you $220 in the long run. The quality pair has a much, much lower cost per wear.
And finally, let's talk about our health. Our last category is what this analysis calls the marketed wellness myth. We're going to deconstruct the high cost and, let's be honest, often questionable value of the modern fitness and supplement industry.
The strategy here is to stop paying for those boutique gyms and pricey supplements. The analysis shows you can achieve the same or maybe even better health outcomes by investing instead in functional home fitness. We're talking like a single kettlebell or some resistance bands, and using free public resources like parks and trails.
So let's look at this cost realignment. A premium model, with a boutique gym membership, supplements, specialized apparel, that can easily top $4,800 a year. A functional home model, maybe $250 for some basic equipment and vitamins. That's it. That simple shift unlocks $4,550 in annual savings. It's a really powerful reminder that being healthy doesn't have to be expensive.
So let's just quickly recap the 5 core strategies. Stop buying new cars. Stop the redundant subscriptions, stop frequent food delivery, stop fast fashion, and stop paying for boutique wellness.
But here's the most surprising part, for me anyway. When you actually add up the potential net savings from all 5 of these categories, it doesn't just hit our $10,000 goal. Even if you use more conservative numbers than the maximums we've been looking at, the total potential savings is still over $15,000 a year.
Ultimately, though, this analysis argues that the goal isn't just about, hoarding cash. As the source material puts it so powerfully, the decision to stop these expenditures is a decision to buy time and freedom in the future. And what does that freedom actually look like in real numbers? Well, you take that saved $10,000 a year, you invest it with a pretty modest 7% return, and in 30 years, you are looking at nearly $1 million. That is the true opportunity cost of just spending on autopilot.
Which brings us to the final and I think the most crucial question. This whole exercise isn't about deprivation, it's about redirection. It's not about what you stop buying, but what you choose to buy instead. Financial security, options, and ultimately, your own time. So, what are you really buying instead?